What's up, everybody? It is your boy, Mug, the dude here, and we're back with some Hero Colosseum, of course, and today, guys, we are going to do the top 10 speed characters. Now, this is probably my favorite one to do, besides the attack one. The HP one was very competitive because there was a lot of characters, a lot of different position skills going on here. Now, we're starting off with Android 18. She is number 10 simply because her position skill is very lacking, but her HP is 3420, her attack is 3670, defense is 920, and the speed is 4010. Position skill is Dazzling Destroyer. Place on a trigger square for minus 1000 speed to one random opponent on the field, repeatable, and minus 170 to defense to all opponents when Android 17 is on the field. Also on the field. So, this is the reason I put her number 10, is because in order to get that second part, you need to be running an Android 17. Now, I'm not a big fan of either one of their characters in this game. Now, if they make a Android 17 Dragon Ball Super, he's probably going to be way better than this Android 17. Hopefully, guys. But her trigger squares are the top left and bottom right. Now, her position skill is very lacking. That minus 1000 to 1000 speed to one random opponent on the field, it's okay. Like, it's decent. But, guys, in order to get that second part, which is 170 to defense, first of all, lowering defense, really, it doesn't matter that bad if you're going first. But at the same time, guys, like, the 1000 to random speed, depending on who they're lowering, like, sometimes it's not going to be as a competitiveness for speed. Someone's either going to plan to go first or plan to go second. Some people plan to go second with like a Piccolo and a Vado setup, or with a Rose setup or something like that. So people are planning to go second. So if you're letting them go first, they're letting them go second. That's what they want you to do. So the reason I put her at number 10 is she's very lacking, and in order to get that second part of her position skill, you really do need an Android 17. Now, number 9 is no surprise. Android 17, you're laughing at me because, first of all, his HP is 4350, his attack is 2930, his defense is 790, and his speed is 4390. Now, first of all, two things. His attack is very low and his defense is very low, but he's level 1 out of 60. And I'm also not judging off of their their stats. Yeah, her HP could be a little bit higher, but she's only level 1. Her defense is very low, but guys, she's a speed character. I didn't expect their defenses to be high. But position skill, Merciless Destroyer. Place on a trigger square for minus 1000 to attack to one random opponent on the field. Repeatable. And his second part is better than Android 18 second part. But like I said, you need to be running an Android 18. You need to have that duo ship. And plus 250 speed to an all allies when Android 18 is also on the field. I had to burp for a second. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm gross. But another thing with that duo that you're going to need to run with these two people right quick is you need, like, they're not going to take out whoever they're attacking simply because their attack stats are just not high enough. So say you run both of them, that's about 4,300 and about 8,000, like 40 speed, right? Now you can go second, you could put another person on the field, maybe like a Big Bang Vegeta or a Super Vegeta or a Rose or a Goku Black, just to get that extra speed, but you really don't need it considering you're having two big speed units already on the field. But the thing is, they're not going to be taking people out as fast as you think they are, so you might be going first. You could hit them and not even do half of their HP, maybe half of their HP, and they're just going to come back and destroy you considering their HPs are not that high. So basically, I put them both at 10 and 9 simply because their position skills are just lacking in general, guys. Now, at number 8, you're going to be very surprised considering he has such a high speed. And no, it is not Future Gohan. I'm never going to put Future Gohan at number 8, guys. That would just be unreasonable and stupid of me. But number 8. Perfect Cell. I've never seen someone run a Perfect Cell. I think I've run Perfect Cell maybe once. It was when I did the Cell Saga and when I did Villains. But Perfect Cell, perfect, of course. I love the posing skill, though. His posing skill is so sick. I believe that is when he death beamed Vegeta when Gohan was like, Gohan wasn't freaking out, but he was still in Super Saiyan 2 because he was maintaining it at this point. But that's beside the point. I'm going to get into a Dragon Ball discussion about show and stuff, about what happened in the show. I don't want to get into that because I could talk for hours about that just simply because it's Dragon Ball and look what you're watching me do. You're watching me talk about Dragon Ball. But his HP is 2850. His attack is 2890. Defense is 1050, and his speed is 4910, which is super high. He's only level 1 out of 60, but posing skill, the ultimate evolution. Place on a trigger square for plus 500 to own speed, repeatable, and place when own HP is 50% or less for 1.5 own attack. Now, I did it, and he's going to be gaining about 2,000. Now, he's only going to have about 4,890 attack, which is not bad, but it is not great considering he doesn't gain any attack. He doesn't gain any attack after that. He only does that, right? And it stacks during that turn only, so it's not like you can repeat it and just keep timesing that by 1.5. But the one thing I have a problem with is, if you get him to level 60, I bet you his HP is about maybe 4,000, which is not that high considering you have him in the front. Trigger square, by the way, is the middle and the top right. Now, his is middle and bottom left. Forgot to go over that. But the reason I'm putting him so low is simply because in order to get to that, his own HP is 50%. It's not the Master's. You need to inch that HP down very much, and he's already has low HP. You could get one-shotted in attempting to inch it down. Even a Vados and a Whis still might not even to mitigate some of that damage to the point where you inch it down, and now you have a dead cell, and you just wasted a character because you thought you were going to get the speed boost. You did get the speed boost. You didn't kill somebody because he doesn't hit that hard, and then you inched it down, and it just didn't work because you got one-shotted. So he's number 8 simply because his position skill is decent. That plus 500 to own speed, and that's repeatable. So he's going to get about almost 6,000 speed within 2 turns, which is insane, everybody. That is if he survives, and if you manage to go first and have somebody, you could even put somebody behind him and get an extra attack boost. Like, say you put behind him in the bottom right corner, a Super Vegeta or a Gogeta. You go first, you're getting that 10% plus damage boosting, which means you're like, he could attack somebody first and then Gogeta could finish him off, so it means Cell doesn't get taken out. But number 8 Cell, simply because his position skill is decent, but that second part is very hard to get, guys. But now number 7. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, I laugh at because he's not that bad of a figure, but his position skill is super, like, it really is useless when you get down to it. HP is 4730, his attack is 4750, his defense is 1110, and his speed is 4000 flat. Now, Thirst for Power posing skill is the first of all, Cells is the middle and top right. I don't know if I forgot to mention that, but middle, only the middle one. That's one reason he's very low. Thirst for Power. Place on the trigger square for 1.5x, 1.5 times own attack, but own defense and speed drop to 0. Now, he's going to get about 6,000 attack. I did the math. I did it in my head on my way to work. I did it when I went to work as well. But 6,000 attack. Now, that is not... That's a sizable amount of attack, but his speed drops to 0. So that 4,000 speed is gone. So say you run him, a future Gohan, and a Big Bang Vegeta, or a Vegeta who has about 2,500 speed, you're only going to be getting 8,000 speed. So you're not going to be getting that 13,000 speed that you think. You're going to be getting an 800 speed, almost. 9,000 speed, which, say they counter you with a higher speed, his defense also drops to 0, guys. I've won matches simply because he thought he was slick and put a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta in there, and he was like, oh, I'm going to get the speed boost. And Psych drops to 0, guys, which is insane. So his stats aren't bad. Like, that attack, HP and speed balance is very good. He basically is a floater that you could put in any other trigger square to fill up spots, just because he's fast, he has the speed, he has the attack, and he has the HP. It's just, you need to put him in other slots. The only way you're going to get that position skill is if you put a future Gohan, and then you put another massive speed boost / damage character, so like a Big Bang Vegeta or a Godku in there, to like balance out that. Because if you put a Godku in there and you put a future Gohan in there, you have 10,000 speed. You really don't need to worry about it, but his defense drops to 0, so if you do not take that person out in that middle slot, you are screwed and you are dead. There's no point, because I've won games simply because of that. So number 7 is him. Now, number 6 is going to be a surprise to you considering he's number 7. This Frieza I have loved from the get-go since I obtained him in summons way before I started doing YouTube. He is such a good figure from the beginning. 3840 to his attack for his HP, 3090 to his attack. Defense is 1370, and his speed is 3510. Now I'm going to do ults real quick. His is Supernova, his is Final Shine Attack, his is Special Beam Cannon, his is Super Electric Strike, and hers is Dual Destructiveness. Now I'm going to go back to Frieza. But the Emperor's Dominion, I think I went over him in the highest defensive squad because his counterpart does have a very high speed, very high defense, but placed on a trigger square for plus 500 own speed, which I love about that character. But his trigger squares is what I love the most, and minus 170 to defense to all opponents on the field. Now, his trigger square is very good, bottom left and middle. I would most likely run him in the bottom left simply because you can hide him. He can just keep gaining speed, which allows your characters to go first. You could run him with any other attack units you can and maybe a damage mitigator, or just all attack and just go first and blitz the other team, because in one turn he's going to have 4,000 speed, which is higher than his because he's going to have 4,010, which is, that's never going to get as high as his, but it's higher, and then it's going to be the same as hers. In that one turn, it's going to be the same as Android 17. Android 18, she doesn't gain any speed. She never gains speed unless you boost her speed with another character. But him, he gains it from that 500 to own speed. Plus that 170 to own defense, it's like, eh. When you lower his defense, it's decent, which allows your characters to hit harder, but it's not a huge difference. But his attack is very good, and his speed is very good for only being level 1. So the only reason I put him at level 6, rank 6, is simply because his position skill is okay, but that plus 500 speed really does it. Now, very good figures will have 500 speed, like Golden Frieza has 500 speed, Merge Zamasu has 500 speed, I forget who else has 500 speed. Hit has 500 attack, I almost said him, but some figures naturally have that 500 speed, which is good. Anytime you can raise your stat by a substantial amount by 500, it's super good, guys. But that is 10 to 6. Now I'm going to hop into the 5 to 1. I already have it made and everything, of course, but I hope to catch you guys in that next part. Alright, guys, we're back, and now number 5 is Merge Zamasu. And as I was saying for base form, first form Frieza, that 500 speed is very good for some units, and I did mention Future Zamasu. Fuse Zamasu, but he's level 60 out of 60. His HP is 4520. His attack is 4570. Defense is 1320, and his speed is 4020. Now, opposing skill is Supreme Undying God. His position skill is actually not that bad. Besides that last part, it's a iffy, but Supreme Undying God, place on a trigger square for plus 500 to own speed repeatable, and restore 30% of own HP at the end of turn. Place on alone to increase own attack by speed value, then drop speed to 0. Only way you're doing this is if you just troll him, and then you just try to guess where he's going to put his figures. He doesn't drop his defense to 0, which isn't bad, but his defense wasn't high to begin with. But, guys, here's the deal. That his attack is decent, his speed is going to just keep getting raised by 500, so in 2 turns he's going to have 5,000 speed, which is very good. But the second part is actually pretty good, and it's underrated. Restore 30% of own HP at the end of turn. Some of the figures in this game will not be able to one-shot him, and if you don't get the double, if you are very lucky with it, if you're very lucky with that not getting them get a double, he's just going to gain that HP back, gain more speed, and then potentially get you that first round attack, depending on if you're really battling for that speed, and if you both have like a speed-oriented deck. It's very underrated with that 30%, and he just attacks good, and his HP is not that high, but his regeneration is what really lets him have that lower HP. And he's just a very good unit overall. His ultimate attack is Divine Wrath Purification, which is a very good ult in PvP. I'm not really taking PvP into consideration because it is Hero Colosseum. Why would I do that? But I love that ult, by the way. When it came out, it was monstrous on Parallel Quest and in PvP. But here's the deal, guys. I have all ult gauge lowering on him, but that doesn't really matter. The plus 500 to own speed is decent, so does the Frieza, so they basically were interchangeable, but that second part really makes him better than Frieza is the restore 30% to own HP at the end of turn. Now, guys, number 4. Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now, his level is 99, so stats really kind of matter, but 8060 is his HP, 3460 is his attack, 1210 is his defense, and 4190 is his speed. Crimson Saiyan is his opposing skill. Place under trigger square for plus 10% to own damage dealt, and plus 20% to ultimate attack damage, and minus 10% damage dealt by all opponents on the field repeatable. Now, guys, the first part's good, plus 10% to own damage dealt. Right away, he's boosting his ult. He's boosting his damage output. Second, plus 20% to own ultimate attack damage. Now, oh, by the way, his is top left and middle. I forgot to do the trigger square, but plus 20% to ultimate attack damage, and minus 10% damage dealt by all opponents on the field. If you can keep him in that back slot and just keep him building that ultimate attack damage and that plus 10% to own damage dealt, this is all repeatable. All of those stats are repeatable. So place on a trigger score for plus 10% to own damage dealt. Boom. Right there's 10%. Plus 20% to own ultimate attack damage dealt. Boom. 20% to ultimate attack damage. Plus that 10% that he's getting from that first part. And then the minus 10% damage dealt by all opponents. He can just stay in that back. Plus he has such a high amount of HP that he can attack. That he can probably take 2, maybe 3 attacks depending on who he has attacking him. Like a Piccolo. A Piccolo might not take him out, which is very good. By the way, his ultimate attack has to be the Dragon Fist, because the Dragon Fist is still one of the dopest moves ever that Goku's ever used. But basically, the reason he's just not better than the other units in the list, which this one and the next one you're going to be very confused by, and the only reason I'm putting the other one above him, which you're going to see in a second, is simply because the attack of that man is ridiculous, guys. But boosting that ultimate attack damage is very good, guys. But number 3. Now, this is number 3, and you're going to see why. The Big Bang Vegeta with the ultimate attack is Final Flash, right? His max level 60, 3460 is his HP, 4560 is his attack, defense is 1590, and his speed is 4090. Now, guys, he only has 100 less speed than him, so the speed really isn't a factor. That 100 really isn't like that bad of a difference. Sometimes you're not going to only win by speed. Like, you're not going to win by 100. You're going to win by a lot more. So some people's decks aren't made for speed. They're made for attack and maybe just taking damage. So the HP is what kills it for me, though. But his posing skill is Super Vegeta. Place on a trigger score for plus 1,000 to own attack. So he's getting 5,560 attack, which is absolutely ridiculous. And it's way higher than Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So almost 1,500 attack more. And stacks during that turn only. Minus 700 to defense to attacked opponents. Switches them from, prevents them from switching places. That is so good. His trigger squares are the middle and the top right. His is the middle, bottom, middle, and top right. But the middle and the bottom right. If you can run him in the bottom right, that's okay. But if you plan to go first and you put him in that middle and they have like a Piccolo in there, you prevent that Piccolo from switching places and you put another person behind him like a Bardock. And then you put another unit in there, like maybe reduces damage so he doesn't get killed, which is HP, obviously, just absolutely kills it for me. But they can't move their characters, and then say the Bardock doesn't kill him, and he's such low on HP. Some people, when they get their characters low on HP, they take them out immediately. Sometimes it's not the best thing to do that, but you can't, which also lowers their defense by 700. And Piccolo only gets a 350 defense buff, and he gives the Master 5,000. He's only getting a 350 buff, but he's only getting a minus 350, but you're still lowering his defense regardless, and he's not able to move. So that is why I have him at number 3. Now, number 2 and number 1, guys, are 2 of the best units in the game. Like, straight up. When I see them on a deck, you know they're gonna try to take you out fast. Number 2. The Godku. He's level 60 out of level 99. His HP is 6,200, attack is 4,480, his defense is 760, and his speed is 4010. Posing skill, true power of a god. Plays under trigger square for plus 700 to own attack, plus 160 to all allies, and plus 5% to own damage out repeatable. Middle and bottom left is his trigger square. Now, guys, his position skill is so freaking good. Plus 700 to own attack and plus 160 to all allies, which is stupid good. Like, that is ridiculous. You put that with a Bardock, and he's getting a 950 attack buff in 1 turn, which is giving him almost 550 attack within 1 turn, which is absolutely stupid. But here's the good part. Plus 160 to all allies, and he's getting a 5% to own damage dealt, which is stupid, and it's repeatable. So in 2 turns, 10%, 4 turns, 20%, 3 turns, 15%. So he really is such a good balance of speed, attack, and HP. Some people won't be able to one-shot him, and if he does survive, say you don't go first with this setup, you want to run with him like a future Gohan with this, gets you 10,000 speed almost immediately, guys. But simply, he's number 2 because he's not better than number 1, but his position skill is so good, it makes him number 2. Number 1, I have to talk about this dude for days, though. This man is such a good fucking unit, and I'm sorry for the language, such a good fucking unit. 3510 for the HP, 4960 for the attack, 990 for the defense, and 6350 speed, bro. This is stupid. His posing skill is hope for the future. Now his position skill is super good, though. Very good. I don't know why I keep saying super good, but plays on a trigger square for plus 500 to own attack and plus 350 to own defense, repeatable, plus 1000 to own attack and plus 350 to own defense and plus 500 to attack to all allies when an ally is defeated. Now, you put him in that bottom left slot and you just block. You block as much as you freaking can, guys. You put him, a Piccolo in the middle, and a big attack person in the left. So I would put a Broly there, simply because he does get that plus 10% to damage reducing, so minus 10% damage dealt. But we're not talking about Broly, we're talking about Future Gohan here. His HP is what kills it for me, but the trigger squares are the bottom left and the top right. I never put him in that top right, simply because if he takes an attack, he's dead, 100%. The first time I used him, I was like, I put him in the top right, obliterated, and then I had no speed for the game. So that bottom left is really where you want to put him, and that is ridiculously good, that bottom left. Like, whew. Then that plus 500 to own attack, which he's going to get about 5,400 attack in the first turn. 2 turns, he's about to almost has 6,000 attack, which is ridiculous. And he gains 700 defense in 2 turns, which means he's going to have about 1,600 defense. And then in 3 turns, he's going to have almost 2,000 defense, which is ridiculous. But you're basically going to use him as a speed unit. Keep him in that back left slot. Let him gain attack. You block for him at all costs, and you do not let him get hit ever. That is going to do it for the video, guys. I'm going to go over the slot. By the way, his ultimate attack is one-handed Kamehameha. His is Super Kamehameha, Final Flash, Dragon Fist, and Divine Wrath Purification. I'm going to go over the list real quick. Now we have Android 18, Android 17, Cell at number 8. We have Vegeta at number 7, Frieza at number 6. We have Yu Zamasu at 5. We have Super Saiyan 4 Goku at 4. Big Bang Vegeta at 3, the Godku at number 2, and then the best speed unit in the game, in my opinion, is the Future Gohan, guys. My name is Mug the Dude. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope to catch you guys in the next part. Thank you for the support, guys. The deuces, everybody.